Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek Season 1, Episode 6. It's called Mudswoman. Full spoilers for the episode, as always.
For the record, that's women, plural. It's just his accent. You can't tell the difference. Just to clear that up, just in case anyone wondered.
We have been through this before, yes.
Yeah.
Women and women and my accent sound the same. Yes,
Yep.
I said them differently,
Yeah.
but
It makes me laugh every time.
what'd you think of this one?
I think it's one of my least favourite ones so far, but I quite like Mud himself.
I share that consensus. I think Mudd himself is really funny.
Yeah, his flamboyant criminal attitude is amusing.
I would maybe spin that to flamboyant sleaziness.
Well, yeah, but it's a bit of both, isn't it?
He's kind of greasy, disgusting. He's got the mustache that twirls, and
But there is literal criminal things as well.
oh yeah, he's breaking the law. He's doing all sorts of dodgy things.
Yeah.
He's basically an untruthful pimp. Yeah, I guess we'll call him that.
Yes, who for all intents and purposes stole a ship.
Yeah, he's. If it's like obviously pimps don't actually have to deal with standards and practices, but if they did, he'd be breaking all the rules.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, basically the episode starts with the Enterprise is like they're following this ship into an asteroid field. It didn't respond to them, so I try to get to it, and by getting a hold of it, that ship gets destroyed, but they manage to beam the people on board onto their ship, but it also ruins their own lithium crystals, which is kind of
Powers everything.
it powers everything. It's actually as far as I know, it's a long running thing in Star Trek that these are always the power source of the ships.
Makes sense.
Although I'm pretty sure it changes to dilithium for next gen, or somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing dilithium at some point as well.
Because I remembered it as dilithium, but they kept saying lithium in this episode, so it must change at some point. They get even fancier lithium crystals.
Well, that's why it threw me off because obviously they changed. They say, "Oh, well, we'll use battery power," but most batteries that we use now are lithium powered already.
Aye, but that's old school lithium. This is fancy crystals
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
don't have.
But it made me amusing that it was kind of essentially the same core element that was still at use.
That's them using what we actually use currently to inform their futuristic nonsense, basically.
Smart.
So they get Mudd on board. He doesn't use the name Mudd at first. He claims to be someone else. He claims to be
Leo Walsh.
Leo Walsh, yes. And he's got these three ladies with him, and I loved it because they get him first, and they're trying to transport them off. The ladies, they don't know it's ladies. They just think it's his crew.
Yeah.
And they're trying to transport them off as their ship is destroyed, and they're not sure if they've done it in time, and they beam in, and not only are they all in like these fancy dresses to be all attractive, the one at the back, the brunette, has got her back turned to like Scotty in that, or she's facing the wall,
Yeah.
and then she sexually kind of looks over her shoulder and turns around slowly. It's so over the top,
It is.
and it's funny because like halfway through this episode, you almost think, "Wait, this feels really dated and possibly kind of sexist."
Until you realise what the message is.
Yeah, it flips it at the end, and it becomes because obviously they're taking this drug, which makes them look prettier. Because when it wears off and you see that they're actually
Old.
old, there. I think it looks old to us because of the effect. I don't think that's actually necessarily what's happening.
I don't know. It looked like age wrinkles and stuff.
Well,
So-
it did look like that. That's what I'm saying. It looked like that, but I don't think that's actually what it. Because the end of the
Right.
episode, when it pulls the fast one and he switches the
Yeah.
the pills with Jello or whatever he said, and it still works, and it's like a placebo basically for her, and she's still normal. I'm thinking, all right, so they're just implying that when she's not believing in herself, she looks saggy and old. But it's not. I don't think they're actually old.
Yeah.
If you know what I
okay.
mean, you know, like
Yeah.
they're like stress wrinkles. I guess.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what the intention is.
I got you.
You have to kind of. I think this is the problem in this episode. There's a lot of disbelief, and
Yeah.
you have to kind of just accept a lot of really stupid things because okay, there's a drug that makes them look pretty fine, but then you say it's just a placebo effect. But no, for this to have worked, they had to put her in all this stupid makeup that made her look, wrinkled and ugly, and it's just so it's a clear difference to us, and it's not a placebo effect for us.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, and we see how it has a physical effect, like the drug, because it makes like you see the effect it has on the people, and also the medical equipment.
Exactly, yeah. There's an actual thing that's happening, so you have to swallow a lot of stuff that doesn't really make sense. I mean, the actual message is nice. It's upbeat. It's very positive, especially at the '60s. I don't imagine there was a lot of things.
Yeah, it's kind of be yourself essentially.
Yeah, believe in yourself. I think the Kirk line is there's only one type of man and woman, and it's when they believe in themselves. Yeah, because Mud points out that if a man takes the pill, it'll make them all muscular and same idea. Attractive, kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? The
ideal.
Not ideal. There's a word I'm looking for. No, I mean that works. Don't get me wrong, but there was a word I was looking for. The image of. I don't know. It's escaped me. I had a word in mind.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you were reaching for there.
Okay, it's like all the old statues and stuff, all the biblical statues.
Yeah.
So Olympian was maybe I was going for something along those lines. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, I was thinking of a word and I didn't.
See, now I'm trying to think of the word because I know what you're going for.
You know what I'm getting at though, right?
I do.
The image of. Oh,
yeah.
Oh God, that's annoying me now.
Someone's going to put that in the comments and show us up.
God damn it. Anyway, so that ends up being the twist of the episode, I guess. But the best part is definitely Mud, and it's also the reactions. Like when the girls all like appear, and Scotty and McCoy are just like standing there and like.
Yeah, and it's also when they're in the hearing and the robot, like the computer tells her like how the males are reacting.
Oh yeah, because there's no funny readings from the females, but the males are high perspiration, higher blood pressure. There's all these things. I do want to talk about that robot actually, because we've not seen it before.
No.
And maybe it'll be a regular feature, but it feels a little bit out of nowhere. Because it feels like something. Because it's basically a lie detector to an extent. Because it's calling Mud out in all these bollocks.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but then it looks everything up as well.
Yeah, and I'm like, this seems really handy and easy. But why have we not seen this in the past? Because I think there's definitely been times in the last 6 episodes where it'd have been useful.
Definitely.
There's you've got a fake Kirk. Sit him down and ask him a question with the robot. You've got who else have we had? We had the first episode, Man Trap, with the woman and the guy. You put them in front of this machine and ask them something.
Yeah, and I feel like it has to go away just because otherwise it's too easy and it would be the answer to everything. So then maybe they just have to go, let's forget about that.
Yeah. So I think that just ties in with other stuff in this episode where everything's kind of... You have to... Suspension of disbelief just is a bit higher in this one because it contradicts itself in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, it even references how kind of it's not entirely sure what it is. It gets a bit meta, whereas like, we're 6 episodes in, and it's like, oh, are they alien? Is it something posing as something?
Oh, that line really cracked me up actually.
Yeah.
When like Kirk comes over to McCoy and he's like, have you figured out what are these anything different? It's like, what, you mean like an alien posing as something? I don't know. But it's a possibility.
That's never happened before, has it?
I'm pretty sure this was earlier than this in the production order.
Right.
I think this was closer to the start, and that maybe explains some of the inconsistencies kind of thing and
perhaps
whatnot. That may be the case for it. Maybe this robot or this computer was like an early idea and they decided to scrap it.
Yeah.
But obviously in this standard order that everyone kind of has now, it's episode 7, so it feels like maybe a wee bit more obvious and out of place.
Yeah.
But
it did just stick out a little bit.
Yeah. That scene was really funny though, not only because of the reactions. Kirk's face actually through a lot of it because he just looked pissed at Mud. Like
Yeah.
he knew he was bullshitting, and
He did.
his angry face was cracking me up. But Mud is really funny. I know Mud comes back in a season 2 episode, so I'm looking forward to that because he is deeply amused. And the actor seems to be having a lot of fun with the role. He's very slimy. The way it almost feels like he's rolling through his lines.
Yeah, he's just having so much fun with it, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's definitely the best part, I think, of this episode.
Everything between him and Kirk is just gold.
And obviously, it's almost becoming a bit cliched at this point, or a bit tropey, but obviously we mentioned the crystals got destroyed, and that puts the Enterprise on a clock, ticking time bomb. The Enterprise will cease to have power after X amount of time, so they have to get to this planet that makes the lithium, or mines the lithium crystals.
Yeah.
But Mud talks to them first. It just happens to be 3 lonely miners, which matches up perfectly with his 3 ladies.
So convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, and he makes a deal with them so that they'll get the ladies, but they have to like demand that Kirk give up Mud and give them the ladies for the crystals. And I will say this: I do think there's like a slightly bold choice in the episode where it kind of goes away from the Enterprise and it just focuses on Eve, who's the sort of the main lady, and the miner that she's potentially marrying.
Yeah, I think it's rare that we see so much of someone who's not one of our core cast members not on the Enterprise or interacting with anyone else that we know.
And it just shows you them sort of in, like, I guess, home life where she's making them food.
Doing some cooking and
I thought that was a bit of a bold choice. And then obviously Kirk and Mud eventually show up and they pull the little trick. And it has kind of a happy ending because he kind of is like, maybe we should still try and talk about this, and so it's implied that they will actually end up being a couple. And
because obviously she had the good idea with the cooking pans.
Compatibility is an important thing. Unfortunately, though, the other 2 guys and their ladies aren't in that scene, so all I can think of is what are they going to think when their pills wear off.
Yeah, because they talk about how they got married over the radios.
Yeah, Kirk actually, it's like obviously a term they've just made up for the episode. Oh, a long-form radial marriage.
Subspace radio, maybe?
Which makes sense that it exists, to be honest, though, given that there's people all out in these colonies and planets, so it makes sense that they can do things like that over radio. But I thought you had something to say.
I did, and then I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, fine.
It was on that marriage. They said that they can, get a divorce basically if they're not happy with it, though. So
true.
It's not necessarily an unhappy ending.
True. Divorce, great ending.
Well, I mean, in this sense, divorce it's the choice that's the happy ending. It's like, well, maybe they'll choose to be together, or maybe they'll choose to do their own thing. They get the freedom. That's the happy ending. There's no forced slavitude, essentially, of marriage here.
Yeah. Because as it was, both were being tricked. Both parties were.
Yes.
In different ways, were being kind of forced into this, and so it has a happy ending. It's not. You have to swallow a lot of stuff, and honestly, the actual lady plot for the first half of it at least feels very. I don't know. Like, there's shots of them walking through the Enterprise in their dress, and it's meant to be all sexy, and all the men are staring at them. It just feels a bit.
It feels dated.
It does, yeah.
Because like you say, for a long time, it feels like this is just a dated episode, and I actually found myself thinking, man, this one has not aged as well as some of the others. And in those stuff still haven't. It does redeem itself with its message, but the way it's shot still doesn't necessarily help it.
Yeah. So that's just kind of, it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah, and it's not like there's stuff today that does it much better anyway.
Oh no, absolutely. We're not past it, but
hell, I can think of stuff we've watched in this past week that does it just as bad.
Aye. Yeah. So that's Mudge Woman. It's
I'm looking forward to seeing Mud again when he pops back up because it's just so much fun.
Yeah, Mud's a lot of fun, and I think there's some good little moments in there with the crew, because obviously we've been talked about in a couple of episodes how Kirk has this longing for a married life, even though he's married to his ship essentially, and that theme still seems to be running throughout kind of nicely.
Yeah, and it's brought up much more literally in this sense, where they even address, no, he's married to the ship.
Yeah, but the temptation's there when Evie tries to kind of
Yeah,
sort of seduce him and backs out of it the last second. There's also a great moment where he snaps at Scotty
yeah,
because things aren't getting done, and then he apologises later because he realises no. Yeah, good little moments. There's good little moments, and I like the ending as well with Spock's just kind of mocking the whole situation. He's like,
because he was fine. Yeah.
"I'm glad this sad episode is over," which feels like a very meta line.
Also, that was the one thing that really threw me off. Mud says to him, "Oh, you're part Vulcanian." It's like, wait, hang on. Everyone else just assumes he is Vulcanian, and then it turns out he's part human. How can you tell?
Well,
Because I mean, everything about his appearance is Vulcan. So for all intents and purposes, he is a Vulcan.
also,
by looking
I'm
at
pretty sure the word Vulcanian disappears and never gets mentioned after.
Probably. I just used it then because that's
Yeah.
the one that was used here.
And that's
So
what he
it's,
says. But I'm pretty sure you just say, "Oh, you're part Vulcan." You wouldn't say Vulcanian.
Yeah, although Vulcanian does make sense.
I mean, it does as well, but I'm pretty sure no one uses it. It stood out to me when he said it because
It
no
did.
one else says it. Vulcan
Yeah.
on its own just works as a word.
It does. They both work. But it just seemed weird. It's like, why are you saying it that way around? Not, oh, you're a Vulcan. Not, oh, you're part Vulcan. It seemed weird.
Well, I think the ears give it away, so he's a bit stupid that he's not noticing. Maybe he's trying not to be racist. Oh, I'm going to assume that he's Vulcan because of the pointy ears.
But I'm going to call him out and say you're at least part it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think I guess the implication is that he can tell that he's Vulcan for ignoring the fact that he can't tell with the ears is because he's not been affected by the girls. He's just.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is clearly enthralled the second they appear, he isn't. He's not
They
interested.
are not subtle about it, are they?
No, they're not. To the point where I'm almost like looking down on those guys a little bit. I mean, McCoy was basically licking his lips as they were walking past in the opening scene. He's like, yes.
It really was.
Like, calm down, McCoy.
I know. It was amazing when you got everyone in it. When they come on the bridge, you got like Sulu on it and just everyone.
Yeah, and Kurt's getting pissed because that he's having to like give orders twice because they're all distracted. Thinking
Yeah.
about the girls. Oh dear.
There's some amusing stuff in this, and it's
Yeah.
it's not bad. It's just not the best.
It's not the best, no. But that's Mud's Woman. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter, mail_fuzz. Individual Twitters on the screen. And we'll be back next week with the next episode of Star Trek. Bye, guys.